Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
So unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the new Shudder original Host has taken the world by storm. It's getting rave reviews by everyone and has a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. We're lucky enough to have with us here one of the writers and executive producers, JED SHEPHERD, and one of the stars, Haley Bishop. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Thank you. Hi.
Thanks
Hope
for
I
having
pronounced
us.
everyone's name correctly there.
Yeah, luckily Radina wasn't here because her name, people just call her every name under the sun.
Oh, no.
Radina Durandova, it sounds easy, but if you see it written down, it's like a tongue twister.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Tim's notorious on the podcast to know.
Oh, yeah. We're kind of known for mispronouncing names, actually. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, at least we got some good ones. Nice, easy pronunciations on here.
Yeah. So, guys, I just watched the movie actually literally before Brian texted me and said, you got to be on in like less than an hour. So I just watched it again for the second time. So I absolutely loved it, of course. Before we get into the movie, however, just kind of a question for both of you. How did you get started in your career? Just kind of tell us a little bit of your background.
So I started I did my undergrad at San Diego State in theater, and then I moved to LA and did about 4 years there in the LA, the rind and grind there, and decided that I wanted to get my master's. So I moved out to London to do a 1-year MA acting for screen at Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. And that was kind of what set me off, I think, on my career, because I did that year program. And that's where I actually met Jed originally, because we shot Dawn of the Deaf, part of that program, and part of him and Rob's, one of their short films. And then from there on, I actually was like, oh, you know what? I kind of like London. I think I'm going to stay here. And and luckily I had, it's paid off, and I've actually done, been in a couple feature films and TV shows, and every year seems to get a bit bigger and bigger and bigger, and now host, which has been amazing. So it's kind of like I've moved a lot only to be the American in London, which is
What about you, Jed?
For me, my first taste of like films and stuff was the film Birdemic 2.
Yes.
Are you at Birdemic?
Yeah.
So I co-produced the second one, weirdly. So
Nice.
that was my first taste on being on a film, and so kind of got a little bit of a kind of taste of what it's like to be involved in kind of behind the scenes. And then I met Rob Savage, who's the director of Host, and we started making little films together, short films. And they've all kind of done well in their own little ways. Like Haley says, on Dawn of the Deaf, that's the one where we kind of first kind of smashed the festival system and kind of went to Sundance and had fun at Sundance. Me and Haley had our first taste of going on TV together, which was cool. We definitely do need our own TV show. But we had fun there, and we kind of realised we were onto something good, and then we did something, a short film called Salt, which was paid for by Fox, which also blew up. And then this is the next thing's Host, which it's been a nice progression, actually. It's been cool.
Awesome.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because let's get into the topic of hand, which is Host. And both of us, as Tim said before, we both absolutely loved it. I think I've seen it 6 times now already.
Yes.
So I keep watching it, and I try and show it to people. I tell everybody about it. My brother, who is not a horror fan at all, I got him to watch it, and he was blown away by it.
Oh, cool.
So
That is awesome.
yeah, so everyone is just it's amazing, because and as you could tell, I'm a New Yorker, so I talk a lot fast. So think of how many people I'm telling about it, and just a ratio. Right? So yeah, so that's a lot. But so what's it feel like now to get all these amazing accolades, like coming in so fast and furious like this?
I'm kind of used to it, but hey, it's new to Haley. I'm joking. I'm really joking. It's bizarre. It is bonkers. Like, I don't know about you, Haley, but I wake up every day and I think, is this still real? Is this still happening? Because this is a tiny little film, a Zoom horror film on a service that not everybody has. in not every region, yet it's the most talked about kind of biggest film of 2020. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so bizarre. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it still kind of hasn't hit me a little bit because and like we're getting tons of amazing messages from people that have watched the film on Twitter and Instagram, and it's like every day it's just constant stream of wonderful messages. But then I go outside and I got to go to the grocery store and I still got to like pay my bills and do everything as I normally would. So it's this weird, like my phone feels very involved in all of this, and then my normal life is still like kind of trying to avoid coronavirus and like clean my house. So it's a real mix of this extreme excitement of everything that's been going on and the response from fans and getting articles every day of like, oh, okay, was posted in the New York Times and now it was on Rolling Stone, and you're just like, what is happening? I think it won't set in for another like couple months, maybe after Halloween, and I'll be like, oh, I get it now.
Well,
Haley's used to us making a movie and like nobody talking about it, so it's great that we made one that everyone's talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always on Twitter, so trying to keep our social media going, and I cannot scroll more than like 2 scrolls without something, someone from the cast, someone from the production of it, making a comment. And you guys are amazing at answering and liking tweets and everything. I see such interaction. That is astounding on its own right, because I see how much comes through to you guys just by watching. So
that was like unintentional. It was like organic, wasn't it? We didn't decide, okay, everyone needs to kind of answer every single thing, everyone needs to be really active. We just decided to like, I think we were just surprised that people like liked it so much. So we were just like, thanks, and we were just thanking everybody. And it's kind of not been for the last 3 weeks. It's been non-stop us just interacting with people, and I think it's for the benefit of the film because people can interact with these characters that we've made them feel part of, like this friendship group.
Yeah, and it's really fun for us to be able to talk to people that are just as excited about the film as we are, and so you want to share that experience with everybody, and we're getting messages from all over the world too. So you're like, wow, like, even though they don't have it in India, I'm getting messages.
Yeah. Like, thanks. How are you watching this, by the way?
Don't answer that yet. No.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's incredible. I guess you can never predict how a film's going to do, but this one just seemed to just hit at the exact right time where everybody's going through the same thing and knew exactly the troubles of Zoom, which we've all had. And to combine it with a horror movie like that, I think it just hit at the right time. How did you guys come up with the initial concept for it?
So we have this WhatsApp group called Quarantine Movie Club, which I think on like day 1 of lockdown, like I started and just added everybody in. I was like, okay, we're all going to watch movies every day, and just a way for us all to keep in touch. And we didn't know how long this would be. We thought, okay, it might be a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. So we're in this WhatsApp group, and it'd been about 6 weeks, and we'd watched everything on Netflix, and we'd done quizzes and stuff. And then Rob pulled a 2-minute prank on everyone. He pranked everyone, pretended that he'd been killed by a zombie child. And I don't know if you've seen this prank video, but
I saw it the other day for the first time.
It's funny, and I didn't think anyone would fall for it, but like, everyone kind of fell for it. Well, to some degree. And then we put it online, and that just blew up more than anything we've had before. So it's crazy. Yeah. So we were just like, oh, okay, this is brilliant. We thought that was going to be the highlight of our lockdown, but then we started receiving offers for from different companies for longer versions, like different streaming services, with saying like, we'll give you the money to make a longer version. And we're like, right, okay. And then we always kind of wanted to go with Shudder because we're subscribers. Me and Rob, that is, were subscribers, and we also they were the only ones who wanted to put it out straight away rather than wait a whole bunch of time. So Rob asked me if I had any ideas on how to make it longer, and I eventually, in the early hours of the morning, text him these 2 words, quite infamous, which is Zoom Seance. And and off the back of that, we pitched Shudder, and they were like, yep, here's the money. We told them we were going to use our friends, and that was it really, and just trust us, and they did. And yeah, that's the start of it anyway.
So actually,
Awesome.
this part goes perfectly into our next question because, so I think one of the strengths of the film is really like the amazing cast and the fact that you guys, you know, I know you all know each other, so you know the basically the chemistry is so amazing. And in fact, like it's funny when you said about that video, the prank he did. I think Emma reacted the same way she did in that prank as she does in the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny to me because I'm like, so basically, how did that make it easier to basically create this film when you know everybody and you kind of know their strengths and weaknesses and you could work around like real people?
Yeah, like, but you notice in that prank video, I was in that, and I was the best one in that prank video. So it's a real shame I didn't make it to the final film. It's honestly, we would have 101% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm only joking.
I think you're right. Yeah.
No,
Party.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure Haley can speak to this a little bit, but the fact that we got to use like our friends was just like second nature. We didn't have another option, and we wouldn't want another option either. And it just made everything easy because it was just because we were talking to them every day anyway on Zoom, so it's just really simple kind of transition really, and I think it was just a really easy process. And
yeah, I think especially for us as actors, you know, we've all worked together, and Caroline Radine and I did our, you know, we've been in Dawn and the Deaf together, we've did our master's program together, and we've all worked on Multiplex Jed's other film together, and having that kind of second hand with somebody that you know, we didn't have to learn another name, we didn't have to learn different kind of jokes with each other that we could just play off because the dialogue was all improv.
Mm-hmm.
So having that free flowing rapport with each other made it that the film was a lot easier, especially when you're having to be your own crew as well as an actor, as well as, you know, making sure the lighting is correct and you've pressed record on everything. So there's so many technical things we had to think of that I think if we hadn't been friends, it would have just been a little bit more difficult. I mean, I'm sure it would have been achievable, but maybe the whole process itself, you know, we had Douglas Cox, our producer, and then Rob, the director, on Zoom with us all the time. And even that banter and backhand with each other made it so that when things kind of, you know, problems arose, we were able to just be like, okay, let's just figure out the solution together rather than having like any sort of awkwardness or an uncomfortable, you know, getting to know you relationship stand in the way. So I think that really played well into it. Because even like our stunt coordinator, Nathaniel, is a friend of ours. Like our VFX supervisor, Steve, is a friend of ours. Like, you know, people would just jump into the Zoom call that you've seen in normal life or that you talk to every day to help fix the issues that could arise with filming a film over Zoom, which has never been done before. So I think yeah, definitely like being friends and having that kind of closeness with each other made the film, like, really made it possible, but made it shine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds like the dream. Everyone wants to always make a film with all their friends, and you guys got to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, and I love the improv dialogue because it just makes it seem that much more real. We were talking about that with actually we did a feature on the Paranormal Activity series recently, and that was one of the things that struck me about those movies, at least the early ones, especially, was a lot of the dialogue was improv, and it just, you know, for found footage film, it really cements the reality of it. So I really like that about Host. Were there any scenes that you guys either had to delete or maybe scenes that you wanted to do but couldn't do due to technicalities or whatever? Anything kind of along those lines?
I mean, they shot a lot of footage. There's a lot of footage out there, and the first cut that I saw of Host was quite a little bit different than what ended up on Shudder. There was the version that came out on Shudder is the best version, but there were just alternative versions that I saw that was equally like cool and funny. But I think what was picked and what ended up in the film is the best. But I can't think of anything specifically because we were so like we planned all of the scares like quite specifically and filmed them all first, so we didn't lose anything there. Hey, was there anything in like that you guys kind of did that you feel like should have made it in?
I just remember there was one thing I did. I walked around my house for like an entire day in the dark, filming, like going into the bathroom and the closet. And then there was I think there was supposed to be an extra scare where like you go into my the back bedroom and then you like quickly just in passing see maybe another pair of legs or a face or something else. And I remember doing that. I had to do it twice because the first time I did it, I lost all the footage, and so then having to do it again, and then it didn't make it into the cut because it wasn't necessary. Of course, that's the only thing I remember being like, I walked around my house quite a lot, and I don't see it there.
Yeah, we
Blu-ray
extra deleted. The thing where Caroline goes into her attic, that was originally like deleted by accident by the person who shot it, because that's actually, we do a lot of kind of like really kind of cool cuts where you can't tell exactly where you are. And in Caroline's house, when she's about to go up into the attic, that attic is actually in somebody else's house, like a stunt person's house. So it's just like a whip pan up, and you don't realize that you're actually in somebody else's house. But the stunt people who filmed that, they filmed it perfectly, and then it was deleted. I think 30 takes were deleted of that, so they had to do another 30 to get it perfect.
When you're shooting it, you don't have a DIT on set, and and when you're having to, I'm the one being put in charge of the footage, and things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. The word nothing is worse than recording and then losing it. Tim and I can attest many a time on a podcast. But so this next question kind of piggybacks into that, and so it's kind of two parts, just because there may be an actual answer or there may be a created answer here. So I feel like after now I've watched this, like I said, like 6 times. So I'm like, every time I think I notice something new in this, and I started to notice that there seems like, and this is perfect that you're on, Haley, because this is one of the things I noticed. I feel like there's some kind of backstory to your character that they haven't revealed, like why you wanted to do the seance specifically. And I'm not sure if that was intentional or I caught that, or just, I could be just a very astute movie reviewer now these days, but it could just be, but so I was going to ask is, were there intended backstories for these characters, or did you create your own to kind of just get into the whole feel of the movie?
We had a whole call with Rob where we kind of figured out the dynamic of the group, because originally we had done a Zoom seance as just ourselves with Jed and Robin, our other writer Gemma Hurley, on the call to see what a seance would look like over Zoom. And I think that's where they pulled a lot of like little bits of our characters that then we expanded upon to create like Haley and Gemma and Caroline and Regina and Emma, the characters rather than just ourselves. And so I think there's a bit of the backstory that like I've heard I love the fan theories that have come out right now that Haley, my character, was being suspicious in the beginning, and there's a little bit going on that I feel like I don't want to ruin anything one way or the other, because I'm loving what's and I like the mystery, keeping the mystery, but there were definitely elements in the backstory that, especially stuff we didn't tell each other, that we all kind of knew, to flesh out the characters a bit more, so that it wasn't just a simple seance.
Yeah, because I figure, I guess with the, like the only one you really get is I guess Teddy's kind of thing where he gives his object that he uses. But I noticed you have like, it looks like I can't tell, it looks like a little deck of cards or something maybe.
It's a little notebook.
Oh, it's a notebook. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I couldn't tell. And I saw Regina, I guess, had like it looked like a chess piece, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, now as I watch it, whenever I get one of these movies, I literally I'm analyzing everything. I was like actually freeze framed it to try and catch everyone's objects, because I'm weird like that. But
yeah.
Then you tweeted at me the screenshot of my object potentially.
No, that wasn't me. I was the one that said, I did tweet you guys today about the when I almost want to say, like, did Gemma get the short straw for being now she's getting like blamed for all the things online. So, and that's why I said, well, can't you just have like team spookies instead? Like, and yeah.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we needed someone to kind of be the kind of like cartoon villain for 5 minutes, but also you're dealing with a kind of situation where the friendship dynamic is more interesting than the surface. There's other stuff going on as well, so that's why I really like the theories about Haley, and even more so, I really like the theories about Salem and kind of what her deal is. Like Haley knows Salem, but why? And what's the deal with Salem going off and coming back and just saying it's her internet when we can see something happened on her screen? So there's a few people you can possibly point a finger at to why it's happening, or it could just be happening anyway. Like it doesn't necessarily need to have been. Like this demon could have been there from the start. There's various different like theories.
Yeah, that's one of the theories I had, that it was always there, and it, it was kind of brought out by, because it's funny, like Tim mentioned Paranormal Activity. One of the sequences in that, they sit there saying, well, if you keep bringing the fear in, you'll bring it out. So I'm that was one of my theories, and then
there is an answer actually. That, like, I'm sure Haley knows, but if you pay attention to the sounds, I'm not going to say specifically what, but there's certain sounds that appear at certain times during the film, and when you hear that, something's up. And if you rewatch it for the 7th time,
I will.
Pay attention to, like, there are sounds that give you indications of like something's happening, and then you can kind of figure out who might be more to blame than others.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love watching movies like this. I love just rewatching and trying to, even if I start imagining things that I see, at least I just love going through it again and trying to find more like clues to stuff.
There's so many little Easter eggs that have been put in that I feel like I haven't even seen all of them. Like I need to go through frame by frame myself and do it all, because there's little things someone will point out and be like, and I was like, I missed that. Must watch.
Yeah, it's because we didn't think anybody would watch this, so we were just like, we'll make something that we would like really really love to watch and rewatch because it's our mates. So we just stuck in all these like references and our favorite films and things like that, and little Easter eggs for ourselves. And then now it's just like worldwide. It's become something that people are trying to like seek out, like Pokemon. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love the DMK and Ghostwatch one. Bravo to whoever put those in there. Those are great.
Yeah. See, my background right now is Night of the Comet. It's a Night of the Comet still. So I'm a big fan of Night of the Comet.
Well, that kind of leads into my next question, because with this movie being so successful, I'm sure it's going to open up a lot of doors for you guys. And so what's the, what's the dream from here on out?
I mean, funny you should ask. Just today that Olivia Wilde is directing the new Marvel film, and it's Spider-Woman.
Oh wow!
I just want to say that Spider-Woman, the character, is 5'10" and age. So if Olivia Wilde is watching,
you'd be great. You'd be great.
Spider-Woman. Yeah,
you get my vote. If my vote counts, Tim vote counts, Jed vote. We're all like, we'll start that. We should start the hashtag right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll get Haley for Spider-Woman.
Thank you.
For me, I don't know. I just want to just keep going on. I'm doing a film with Sam Raimi coming up, so that's kind of like my dream thing kind of done. I would really like to remake Night of the Comet. That's one of my goals.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Reboot, remake, sequel, and there was talk. Orion Pictures were talking about doing it, and it's kind of gone a bit quiet on that front. And I'm friends with like the two leads of the original as well, Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney. So I would definitely have them in it as well. So that'd be a cool one. I'd also like to be involved in a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd really like to do that. I've got a good take on that. What else? I want to do an episode of Doctor Who as well. I want all of us, like all the girls and me and Rob, to be involved in an episode of Doctor Who, like a standalone thing, and maybe one of those episodes where the Doctor only appears for a couple of minutes. And then also like just keep going and making cool films, and yeah, that's it really. Just keep going.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
So here's kind of along the lines a little bit of your maybe your next project. Actually, and it's funny, we actually were going to ask you about the Sam Raimi one, but we'll get to that later if you can even.
We can talk about it, yeah.
Okay, if you could, we could really. But so I saw your poll on Twitter about, and it ended up being like 50-50 if that, like, you know, people wanted a sequel or they wanted a original project with the cast, and I was kind of in the both camp because I want both because I love the universe that's Host, and I love the cast, so I'd love to see them in something altogether. So what would you want in a sequel, and what would you want as an original project, which you kind of, I guess, touched on, is that Doctor Who one. So I guess just what would you want in as a Host sequel or prequel maybe?
I'd love to do like Host 2 basically. I think there should be a little bit of time before we do that. Let the dust settle a little bit, see how big it can actually get, because it hasn't been released in Europe and South America and Asia, and I think they're big territories, and we'll see how it does there too. But I'm up for doing a direct sequel to Host eventually, and I think it would be really cool. I've got a good take on it as well. I've got a really good take. So and I've mentioned it to Rob, and he seems to be into it, but we just need to give it a little bit of time. And we're working on the follow-up to Host, a new kind of idea that we've been wanting to do for a while, and it can kind of live in this kind of Host universe.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and like we want to make that really fast, so we're trying to figure out how to do that and the best place for it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, my next one's kind of a silly question, but we want merchandise. So where's our Happy Spookies T-shirts and action figures?
Yeah.
Action figures.
Yeah. It's coming. We're chasing it up. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. We're just we've had offers from everybody to like make our T-shirts, basically. Nice. Everyone you can think of. So, and there's a little bit of not a fight between these companies, but like there's definitely some people who are sticking out their necks a bit further than others, making sure they get their kind of exclusive. So I want it ASAP, and so does Robin. We're pushing it really fast. I actually think the best time to release it is just before Halloween, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Halloween.
Yeah.
Rather than right now, because I think once the dust has settled a little bit, people will want it kind of more. For action figures, I actually there is the kernels of a little bit of talk about that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It might just be like real limited edition, like one-off things. I don't know. But
that's awesome.
I want to be happy. You can like set it so that you can drag me down a hallway.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
See, I think Funko Pops would be great too. Like the little Funko Pops of everyone holding their little object.
That would be perfect. Yeah. I tweeted at them. They ignored me.
Really?
So,
you know what? You need to retweet it again, and I'll retweet it, and we'll start getting the horror community behind it. Because you have no better asset, I tell you, than the horror community, because they are so awesome. And when they embrace something, it's like, look out. I mean,
you've been witness to that. They've really embraced Host, and like it's crazy. And I do think like there's the opportunities for the whole cast are going to be like incredible. They're going to get so much like work off the back of this. They're in the biggest film like in the world at the moment, which is crazy. Like Julia Roberts was probably looking at this thinking, "Oh, I wish I was in Host." Like those girls.
Yeah, and watch when she loses out to become Spider-Woman in about six weeks, then she'll really wish she was in Host. But you know.
Yeah.
So if you can, though, now we'll just quickly ask about the Sam Raimi project, because we're big Sam Raimi fans too. So is there anything you could tell us about that?
It's basically the next Evil Dead movie. I mean, joking. It's not.
Yeah. It's not. I was like, he's too calm saying that. This has got to be another joke. No.
It's not Evil Dead. So the way it was kind of announced in Deadline, that it looks specifically like it's an Evil Dead movie. Like it contains supernatural horror, and I was like, that's an interesting way of putting what it is. It's a horror movie. It's not a contained horror movie, because again that makes it feel like it's like Host or or something like that. But it is really, really, really fun, and it's been amazing. We were actually working with like Sam the whole way throughout working on host as well. So we were talking to him, working things out, and we didn't get it because of host. We've had it in the bag for a year. It's just it was announced at the same time as host, so people combine the two. But it is a really, really cool idea. And it's one of those ideas where you think someone else must have done it before because it's almost too good to be true, the idea. And as horror fans, like we've seen, like me and Rob, we've seen like every horror film we can think of, and we know that nobody's done it before. So we have to quickly make it before someone else does, because it's almost on the tip of people's tongues. It's that good. So and Sam thinks the same as well, and working with him is an absolute dream. And I think the next table read, we've been doing it on Zoom as well. It's like next week. I can't wait. It's like a masterclass, just like watching Sam just like do his thing, and it's crazy. Like he's made like my favorite movie. So yeah, it's just really bizarre. It's 2020. If I just woke up and I found out that I was in a coma the entire time and just had a beautiful dream, I would be, oh, cool, yeah, no, that makes sense now, because it's all been too good to be true, and like I'm glad I had that dream. But yeah, it seems to all be real. We're not in the Matrix.
You know, what'd be funny too is now that you guys are so big, Sam Raimi will take the sidestep. It'll be like from the makers of Host, the next. You know,
I guarantee that's going to be on the poster. It'll be like from the makers of Host and Evil Dead and Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you guys, we got one final question, and that's just to let our listeners know where they can reach you on social media if they don't know already. Because
I was like,
you're getting blown up. But yeah, just let people know how they can get in touch.
Sure. So you can find me at Haley, HALEY _Bishop, like the chess piece, both on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, that's why Regina had the chess piece. Interesting. You can find me on
another
Twitter.
clue. I got to watch it again.
You can find me at JED Shepherd, JEDSHEPHERD, and same on Instagram. And you can find Host on Shudder. Just go to Shudder. If you don't have a Shudder account, just use the free trial code SHUTIN, SHUTIN, and you can get a 30-day free trial if you go shudder.com, or 7-day free trial if you go in through Amazon and the Shudder channel there. And yeah, watch Host.
Yeah, if you're a horror fan, you don't have Shudder. I don't know what, because that's
what you're doing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean, this has been such a treat. When Brian told me that we got an interview with you guys, I was over the moon,
cool.
Because just I'm such a big fan of the movie, and it's just such a treat to get to talk to you guys over Zoom, no less.
Yeah, I know.
Which makes it even more creepy. So
yeah, I'm glad, Haley, you stayed in your seat.
Yes.
I'm in a different room.
I know. I noticed that. You're right by the wall, so you can't go far.
Yeah. But Brian, you've got your actual frame is perfect for a horror movie because you've got the open door. Tim's safe because the door's closed, but
well, I always close my door after watching that.
No, I'm like bring it on, so I keep the doors open. And in this house we're at, we actually have one of those attics that pull down with the stairs and the whole thing. So it's
yeah.
This ass get dragged down that hallway.
Oh yeah, no, this whole area we're in, Long Island actually has a lot of paranormal tales, so to speak, on there. There's I think, Jed, you were asking about that. I'll have to email you because there was way too many, but not in just the area I'm at now, but I also happen to normally live in Amityville. So there's that. Cool. And down the road from Amityville, there's one of the most haunted roads they consider in the world, with some stuff, and then there's Lake Ronkonkoma. So there, I have about I could tell you about 20 different things I'll send your way. So
that's cool. So you used to live in Amityville?
Well, no, I still live in Amityville. We're at my family's house out at the beach for the summer. So we're it's same on Long Island, just about an hour away. So, normally, and we did not move to Amityville for the podcast. My wife found a really good apartment. Tim says that I got news for you. Our original house was much scarier due to our crazy neighbor. So, Amityville is actually a blessing, but we are like 8 minutes from the house. So,
wow, that's cool.
From the house.
I want to visit it.
Oh yeah, well let me know. I'll show you right where it is.
Okay, cool.
So everyone, thank you so much again. This was like really a treat because especially when we're so fans of the film and then we get to talk to people that were in it and that made it. It's just it's an extra bonus that we can never do replicate. Other than this. So this is just amazing. So.
No worries. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Wish you all the success in the world. Very, very happy for you guys. Cool. Something good came out of 2020.
Yeah. Thank God.
It's a crazy year.
Needed something.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Have us on some other time as well. We'll be happy to come back.
Oh yeah, anytime you guys want to come on to promote whatever you want. So like Haley, when you get your Spider-Woman role, you come back on. Jed, your next project, whatever. You're more than welcome to come on for anything. We'll always be glad to help promote anything you guys need.
Yeah, awesome. Anytime, guys.
Oh, thank you very much, guys.
All right, take care.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.